All right, everybody, welcome back to episode 74 of Top Tier Podcast. My name is Pale Poppy.
Nick Hogan here.
Yeah, man, I know y'all already know about the fucking aliens the Mexican government wheeled out for a press conference that they had.
We found E.T.
We found E.T.
E.T. has come home. He has finally come home.
They claim that he's a 1,000-year-old fossil skeleton, mummy, alien mummy that they found with like some kind of metal plating in his chest. It's all of a sudden, right?
So, and into this, so let's get a little bit deeper into this. So, where did they find these aliens? So, I heard that they found them in Peru.
They found them in a cave in Peru.
But then the Mexican government is the one that had the press conference, and they're the ones that have revealed that they did some DNA tests on it, some X-rays on it, and the results of that were like I saw that there was like human anatomy in it, right?
Yeah, they found human DNA. They're claiming that there's a metal chest piece on it that's like some kind of exotic material that's definitely not human made, especially given the year that they're claiming that they found it. But skeptics are coming out and saying that it was like, oh, this is bullshit. Human DNA, the bones are like animal bones. The head is a llama head.
Yeah.
People are saying that the guy who's spearheading this, and he found the skeletons and he wheeled them out. They said he's behind several scams and he's done this before. So a lot of people are saying that it's fake.
So what do you think? You think it's fake?
Yeah, I think it's fake.
I think it's fake too. But it looks too similar to like E.T. It looks like they might have just compiled some shit together, like the animal bones theory. That makes sense to me.
Well, the theory is that the UFOs have been coming here for thousands of years. There's like old school paintings from hundreds of years ago that had UFOs in the background.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think there have been I'm forgetting the battle, but there have been battlefield reports of large, battles from hundreds and maybe even like 1,000 years ago. I think it was Alexander the Great. I think he documented one of his battles that they were seeing strange flying stars and activity in the sky during their battles. So there have been people, UFO reports and abduction stories are nothing new. It's not like this shit just started in 1900s because of pop culture. No, this stuff goes way back.
Things floating in the sky and people just seeing aliens and like weird shit. They even say as far as back as like the pyramids and stuff, like, because for some reason we can't figure out how they made the pyramids or whatever. Some people will theorize that was alien technology as well.
There's a guy, he's really popular. He's like a ufologist, kind of like mystical studying guy. He reads like ancient tablets, and he claims that the original, I think the Great Pyramid, he claims were made by aliens, but all the other ones were imitations that humans were able to build. But the original one that was built by aliens was the original Great Pyramid, the biggest one.
You know what I find so interesting about this is the fact that, since 2020 when they came out with that footage, the Navy footage about the craft and stuff, and they started calling them UAPs and stuff like that. Ever since 2020. We've seen like a more serious approach to UFOs and aliens. It's actually not just like some type of conspiracy theory anymore. It seems to be, and obviously people are going to still have their theories about it and say it's not real or whatever. But governments now are starting to take it more serious. It's not just the common quack that's just, in fucking Illinois or Idaho who's just like in the forest. Right, with the tinfoil hat on, just saying, yeah, I was abducted by aliens. Now it's actually, there's a serious approach. Do you think that there's something on the cusp where we're going to get some truth revealed? Because they're trying.
Yeah, man. And for those who, the OGs who watch every episode, you already know. I've talked about this many times, but I think, dude, we got the Mexican government, whether fraud or not, governments are taking it seriously. So we have the Mexican government talking about it. We have U.S. government talking about it. I'm sure more and more governments are going to come out with what they have, because I think we're getting to a point where they're not going to be able to hide it anymore. I think if the aliens wanted to, remember, they released that footage in 2020 from 2004. Like, you saw how that shit was moving. You could say it's fake. The government released this.
Right. And then they tried to remove themselves away from the whole UFO thing, because I think there's like history behind the controversy and the conspiracy surrounding a UFO, whatever that means. They started calling it UAPs. But it seems like they're trying to get ahead of it. They obviously know something. And there's probably contact made with some type of civilization. There's probably proof that there are aliens that have been here or are currently here. and they're going to try to kind of tease us. They're going to drop it slowly but surely. Hey, we're having conversations in Congress. Hey, we're bringing people from the Pentagon. We're bringing people from the Navy to come and kind of open the doors to slowly but surely, open the doors to the conversation that needs to be had, which is that, hey, there's aliens that are on the Earth, and we're in contact with them. I don't know what that's necessarily going to set up, because even like with this, the Mexican government coming out and saying, yeah, we found the bodies of these aliens, even if it is fake, like the way, if it's, let's say it was real, the way I reacted to it was like, all right, cool.
And nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
Nobody cared. They were making memes about it. I saw my favorite meme was there was like the ET came down in the ship, and there was just like this like Gen Z dude who's like depressed about the world, like the doomer shit. He's like, I know you've seen the memes where the dude's like wearing a beanie and he has like a cigarette.
Yeah, I know exactly which one
he
you're
just
talking
like
about.
he has shadows under his eyes, like it's like our generation, just like fucked up, just like. And he was like, "What's up?" And the alien was like, "Are you not shocked?" He's
You're
like,
not
"Man,
shocked at all."
I got so much shit going on. I got bills to pay."
Yeah, bro, we already fucked up here. What the fuck are you doing? Like, I don't care.
As long as
really just like, who cares?
If y'all not here to kill it and destroy us, nobody gives a fuck. Like literally, if y'all not here to vaporize and terraform and steal shit, nobody cares for the most part.
Nobody gives a fuck. That's not going to change the world at all. Unless there's some new technology, like how you talk about the 0 point energy and stuff like that. Unless there's some new technology that completely changes the world, or they try to obliterate us and we have to go to war, galactic war, Star Wars style. No one gives a fuck, bro. That's just going to be like something to talk about on Twitter. Who gives a fuck? Or X. Who gives a fuck?
Now, I think when we start having open contact, like when it's like you see the ships in the air, we got 0 point. Airlines have been replaced with anti-gravitic UFOs and stuff like that. And your electric bill is free. Your gas is free. You don't have to work unless you don't want to. That's when I'm like, all right, people are going to be like, all right, let's hear about these aliens a little bit more. That's when I think.
Or if they start walking amongst us.
Yeah.
If it's like there's a whole civilization here, and it's not just a we seen some crash landings and we got some we got some bodies, some dead bodies from the ancient past or whatever that we have on hand. If they start walking amongst us and they're living amongst us, that's when shit's gonna be different. That's when we're gonna actually take it serious as just the common person. But until that happens, ain't nobody give a fuck, bro. That's just some movie shit. I don't give a fuck.
Because even if we were in open contact with an alien world, if they just didn't release the tech, it was like, fuck y'all, pay for your gas. Fuck you, pay for your gas. Fuck you, pay for your microplastics and water wars. They didn't care. But we knew aliens were there. People would not give a fuck. Even if we knew what they were, we knew where they lived. If they're not coming here and we're not getting any upgrades on life, nobody cares.
I think it's because people have already seen the movies. We've already seen the movies, the TV shows and everything. We already know what the fuck to expect. Yeah. So unless it changes our daily lives, like again, no one cares. Yeah. No one's going to care. Anyway, you want to get to VMAs?
Let's get to the VMAs. So a lot happened at the VMAs, man. A lot happened, and there's been a lot of controversy really this year, because I didn't really know about Sukihana and like Sexy Red, mainly Suki for this topic. I didn't really know about them until this year, when all these people on Twitter are like, they're a disgrace to black women. They're a disgrace to women. Some people are saying they're a disgrace to women everywhere. They're not even saying black women anymore. They're saying they're a disgrace to women everywhere. Like they're just acting degenerate. Like I remember there was a video of Suki like twerking and like talking crazy in front of Buckingham Palace. And there was like a whole bunch of white people looking at her with their jaws dropped and like looking at her like she was crazy.
I remember that video.
Everybody.
Yeah.
So that's how I first kind of learned about her. And then I heard she had like OnlyFans tape drop or something. And people was talking crazy about her.
Yeah, she's an OnlyFans star as well.
But yeah, so anyway, recapping the VMAs, she was like looked like on the red carpet, and she was like twerking and doing fucking Spider-Man poses while shaking ass.
The moment,
and like,
she definitely
I don't know what was going on.
Look, now people were upset because of the fact that, like you said, it's not a good look for women in some people's eyes. It's not a good look for black women, especially in certain people's eyes. I see Suki and I see Sexy Red as entertainers. No one really comments that much on people, on women who are of a different hue, doing the same exact things that Suki and Sexy Red are doing. No one really comments that much about male rappers who are pretty much saying the same exact things that Suki and Sexy Red are saying. But whenever you see a woman that's really sexually liberated, that's when That's when the people come in and are going to say like, oh my God, like what a terrible look. Oh my God, like we can't have this. Oh my God, they're doing too much. That's when people start to say that it's a negative look.
Right.
To me, it's just like, what the fuck? She's just twerking. First of all, okay, we can start here because it's the fucking VMAs, right? We already know what happens at the VMAs. The biggest moment that's ever happened at the VMAs was Kanye West going up on stage and saying that Taylor Swift didn't deserve the award.
But I feel like with Kanye, I don't think anybody was like, I'm sure people were. I could breathe. I could be just sitting here. And somebody on the internet probably like, why is that nigger just sitting there with the ER? I'm sorry. We're going to cut that out. I should have, you can cut that out. Okay, let me correct it myself. I could just be sitting here and someone would be like, why is this black N-word sitting here, right? We can make it racial, even with Kanye. But I think most people with that VMA situation was like, Kanye West, that guy is an asshole. Him as an individual, as a person, as a unique soul, is a fucking asshole. But I just
the only reason why I brought up Kanye was because to say like people steal moments at the VMAs. That's what it's for. Didn't the same situation, wasn't that at the VMAs when Lil Mama came up with Jay-Z and Alicia Keys and was like posing with him? Wasn't that at the VMAs too?
I think so.
People go on. So at the VMAs, it's already just a thing. People go there in order to steal a moment. No one knows who the fuck Suki is really. Like she's popular or whatever in certain areas of the world or whatever, but she's not relevant like that. No one knows who she is. She's going there having fun, bro. And she had came out and said she kind of responded to what people were saying and the backlash that she got for, posing this in the way that she was posing on the red carpet. And she said, like, the VMAs know exactly what they were doing when they brought me here. They knew who I am. They knew what I was going to do. That's the argument,
though, right? We talked about
I can't pose.
We talked about Big Gorilla and Yudi Gang a few months ago. For those who don't remember Yudi Gang and Big Gorilla, I think his name is Big Gorilla. They're like these two guys. They make these kind of like people call minstrel show kind of videos where they like Big Gorilla. He does like these dancing and gyrating while he's eating food and he's shining his teeth, kind of like he's doing a minstrel show. And Nudie Gang be bouncing up and down like he's like a monkey just salivating over a piece of chicken. And just be making all these noises. Well, I think it's similar to this because they just playing up stereotypes, like Black American stereotypes. And the thing about like Big Gorilla, I think he's like Nigerian. If you get what I'm trying to say, a lot of people jump into Black American stereotypes to get famous. Is what I'm trying to say, and they don't even.
The weird thing about it though is that like, what's the stereotype of a woman twerking? Is it because she's black?
Well, it's not even because she's black. Because my thing about Suki is like, there's nothing wrong with twerking. Like people twerk all the time. People twerk on the dance floor. People twerk in the club. But I'm just saying, anytime you see Sukihana, it's just some ghetto shit. Like you can call it elitist. You can call me bougie. If you ghetto, you're ghetto. Fine. Like, but I just feel like with her, it has to be. It's extra as hell.
I just don't ever see people have the same level.
It's performative.
I don't see anyone have the same level of criticism for women like Bad Baby when she goes up with the OnlyFans.
She gets criticized all the time.
I don't see people have the same criticism of Iggy Azalea.
Yes, she does. Not in recent years when she was criticism
of other people like Cardi B, the people that are really, really famous.
Oh my God, bro.
Cardi B and Nicki Minaj.
Year. They were getting on Cardi, bro. They were getting on Cardi this year. I saw posts a few weeks ago about how these are Cardi's parents. Her parents don't look black in any conceivable imagination. It's kind of like that Sneeko guy. He cosplays as a black person, and his parents are like white, Asian, white, Arab-looking people. You know what I'm saying? Like no Negro in any conceivable imagination, but she plays into that minstrel shit because she could kind of pass for black. You can kind of look at her and assume she's Negro. That's not her culture, and she plays up the worst parts of our culture, I have to argue. What I'm trying to say. Am I wrong for saying that?
I just don't understand where the correlation is, really. I don't understand what the correlation between, because I think that you're trying to pile on, and other people too are trying to pile on too many things for the argument to really make sense of the reason why she deserves to be criticized. Because the way I'm seeing it is that this is a rapper, this is an entertainer, who also does OnlyFans, whose entire image has been set up, her entire brand is deliberately set up to be sexually liberated and to be overtly sexual, right? Don't act like we've never seen that before, okay?
Yeah.
So if you want to criticize a woman for doing that, right? Fine. But then to add on to it and say, oh, well, black women shouldn't do this. And then to add on to it and say, well, black women of other ethnicity shouldn't do this. It's too many different aspects. And I don't see the correlation between them all. Because the way I'm seeing it is just like, oh, it's just a woman that's going on to the red carpet and twerking.
And remember, but this is my thing though. Like plenty of people twerk, man. But that's her whole brand. It's just like boundary pushing, just like ghetto type behavior.
And so what?
Like it's not like if you ghetto, you ghetto. But there's a difference between being who you are and just like doing the fuck. It's like speed. It's like I Show Speed, but it's like she's like doing the same shit I Show Speed does, but it's a little different. Where it's just like performative fuckery. Like if that's how you are, that's how you are. She's a performer. Okay, but it's not like she's doing music. She just be out in public doing almost like
she does
TikTok
make music.
Pranks.
We were just talking off mic about
I know
how she's
making music.
Label.
I know she's making music, but half the time I see her, she out in public just acting like a fucking goofy.
Yeah,
that's
when
all
she's
I'm
not
saying.
Making music, she's out in public. She's trying to play into her brand. I don't see it. It's no different than a hip hop artist who's a man, who's wearing like chains and expensive clothes.
And I didn't even get to that because I'm not just. I hope people don't understand. I'm not just criticizing female rappers. The men have been doing this shit for the longest. I just feel like now it's just women are getting into it too. Don't let me forget about these dudes, the young thug kind of dudes, and the Lil Durks, and just
how does it compare?
It's just performative fuckery. It's just performative fuckery that just I just think makes the black community looks bad, and I feel like it's being platformed by people who just don't have our best interests in mind. Because when you globally, I go around the world, they see me, they're thinking Lil Durk. That's all I'm trying to say.
I don't see it. I don't think that you're gonna see a performer and think automatically, oh yeah, all black people are like that. I don't think that, because the only reason why I don't think that is because when, like, you'd like to talk about MGK or Post Malone or Jack Harlow, when they go and they're wearing expensive clothes and talking the same niggatry in their music.
Dude, white men you get to be an individual as a white person. You guys can get mad in the comments all you want. You can. If I was white, I could go in the street and do absolutely whatever I wanted to do. It would be attributed to me, my government name. Black people, oh, that's just another one of those blacks. Oh, I'm gonna be weary next time I see another one walk around here. It's very different. They don't even care about what his name is. He's a black, not a black person, a black.
I see what you're saying, but I just don't think that people are going to look at a Sukihana or a Sexy Red who really don't mean shit to culture. Like maybe I'm underestimating their importance and their influence, but people probably don't even know who the fuck we're talking about right now. Honestly, unless you know who Suki is or you know who Sexy Red is, nobody knows who the fuck these women are. So if they show up on the VMAs on the red carpet and they're twerking and the music that they make is about being sexually liberated and sucking dick, does that really have an impact on black culture as a whole? I really don't think so. Now, if Barack Obama or Michelle Obama were to be out here, if Barack was out here making rap songs about spinning on ops, and I'm gonna use the thumb, and Michelle Obama's out here twerking and stuff like that, maybe that would be a different thing.
They don't speak for me either. Obama and Michelle don't represent me either. But
I don't know, man. It doesn't make any sense to me, really. It doesn't make any sense to me. I think it's. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That's all I really got to say. I just think it's performative. I'm getting at everybody. I'm getting at the male rapper. I'm getting at the female rappers. I'm getting at the Twitch streamers. Performative fuckery and cooning is cooning. And Mr. Sean, it's the same shit to me. I don't care what you fall back on to perform. If you just out acting like a dumbass in public and playing up black stereotypes, I just really can't. I really don't even know what to say to you.
I don't even see the stereotypes. Because of the way she talks and the way that she's twerking.
Yeah, bro. Because that's
a stereotype.
That's literally. You look at any white supremacist meme about black people. It's literally that shit. They literally. I really feel like a lot of these people just look at these memes and be like, man, if I just act just like this and really play it up, boom, instant success. People just want to see a goofy black person validating everything they want to believe and justify their feelings for. That's how I feel about it.
Well, do you want to talk about Selena Gomez at the VMAs?
Yeah. So Selena Gomez was at the VMAs, and when Chris Brown came on stage, she made like a stank face. She was like Yeah, who is this? Like, oh, yeah, this woman beat her. Which I agree. I mean, Chris Brown is not a good person. It's not even beyond the whole thing with Rihanna. He's had several controversies over the years. A fuckery. The one I remember is when the girl came on stage, he just took her phone and just chucked it into the audience.
Chucked that shit. So like, what happened?
So the internet's in an uproar. The internet says you've worked with several people that are known abusers. I should have wrote down who the main guy was. But people are just calling her a hypocrite because she's worked with several people in the past who have allegations. Well, beyond allegations, they've done things that are questionable. And they just think it's unfair. What are your thoughts on the continued hate of Chris Brown?
I think this is such a non-story, the fact that people were getting on Selena Gomez about this. I also think that I saw that they were getting on Selena Gomez about a few other things, too, during the VMAs. She apparently stole the show. But in terms of her making a face about Chris Brown being on stage, who cares? Like, Chris Brown's history is poor. He's an abuser. So if someone has something wrong, if someone thinks something wrong of that, that's fine to me. She makes a face, who cares?
The man is like, what is he, like 35? This should happen when he was 17, and they're like, you're never let him go. But there are plenty of people who you work with them and they've done stuff when they were 17, you don't care.
Yeah.
So you think it's justified people still hate Chris Brown?
He's an abuser. Yes.
I don't get down with women beaters. So I don't fuck with him. I don't listen to his music.
He doesn't
but
even just abuse
But I also
women.
kind of feel like if there's some serious remorse there, can we let him breathe a little bit? That's all I'm trying to say.
The man's still making music. The man still has a career.
Yeah.
How much more does he need to breathe? He's still making money off of his career. This nigga beat Rihanna to a fucking pulp. Sure, he was younger or whatever, but you still did that. That's still part of your history. And it's continuous. He's abusing people like goddamn every single fucking year. We just talked about how, and it was just hearsay, but we just talked, we just talked about how he was fucking assaulting Usher. This is a thing. This is who Chris Brown is. So if you make a face, who gives a fuck? That's such a non-story to me. Such a non-story to me.
Okay. That's all I really got to say. Let's move to Johnathan Majors. Speaking of,
we should go NBA.
Alleged abusers. You want to go NBA?
Yeah. All right. So the NBA this week voted to make a rule change. So they're starting to ban all-stars or teams from resting multiple all-stars in one game. So I believe it starts with home games. You can't rest 2 stars or more at home games anymore without getting like large lump sum fines. So I think the fines start at like $750K, and then if you have like multiple offenses, it's going to move into the millions. Now, this was something that was coming from a long time. The NBA has been struggling with this. Like NBA players today, it's no secret, bro. Like these players don't really want to play anymore. So any way that they can wiggle out of playing, any way they can wiggle out of practicing, they're going to find a way to do it. I mean, the thing that made me really was like notice it, because we all knew it was a problem, but the one thing that happened, and it happened last season too, the Dallas Mavericks had a chance to get to the 8th seed. Last game of the season, they could have made it to the playoffs if they won that game. And instead of actually playing the game, they decided to rest all of their starters.
Dude's trying to collect the check, man. I mean, if you're older, I mean, you're an all-star, but if you don't, if you're older and it's kind of hard in your body to play that many games, I don't see really what's the problem. These are a bunch of rich athletes.
So you think it's okay if players aren't injured, aren't hurt, then they just decide, I'm just not going to show up to work today. I'm just going to sit on the bench.
That's like taking PTO to me. Shit. What's wrong
there
with
is no PCO. Your PCO is the off season.
Off season, you still training. I swear
this
they
is the
probably
problem.
training.
This is the problem. No. This is the problem because you are paid to play 82 games. That is the goal. We pay you. We sign you these contracts to play 82 games. And if we make it to the playoffs, we need you to play for the playoffs as well. That is your job. You're an NBA player. It's no different than any other. That's what the thing that pisses me off is the most, is that this is the only profession when you're in the NBA, you're allowed to just skip work. If you were a teacher and you teach throughout the entire school season, your off days are the fucking, well, you have the weekends, but your off days are the fucking time when you're not teaching. During the summer breaks, during the winter breaks, the holiday breaks. If one of these teachers were to say, or a whole bunch of teachers were to say, like, you know what, no, like, we don't feel like coming into work today. We're just going to rest, you're gonna get fired.
You forgetting something though. You forgetting.
What am I forgetting?
That's why we got subs.
That's a sick day. That's a sick day.
That's why we
so
got
that's
subs.
the same as being injured. That's different. If you're injured,
so there's never been a teacher that's taken PTO and called in sub.
I'm not saying
I don't
that.
think I've ever seen it though. So
I'm not
you're
saying that.
right.
I'm saying like the NBA that's the only profession where you're just allowed to say, I'm not going to show up to work today. And you know what? Tomorrow I'm not going to show up either.
But
Why?
they have subs though.
You're missing what I'm saying.
I don't see it as different.
You're missing what I'm saying. A sub, I'm going to make sure to just assume that if someone is skipping work in any other profession, it's because they're sick, it's because of an emergency, something like that. I'm going to compare that to being injured in the league. That's what I'm saying. Completely different.
So you're saying
these players aren't injured. They're not hurt.
So this is not, which I'm assuming this isn't. It's not like they said I don't know if they have PTO. It's not like they're taking PTO. It's not like they're sick. They just said fuck work. Because I'm assuming that they have some kind of system where it's like, hey, I can take 5 games off a year.
No,
we can talk about it.
That's what I'm trying to explain.
They just said fuck work.
Yes.
I don't have PTO. This is not a sick day. I'm just not coming to work.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. That's what the players do. We talked about Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons said that, and I guess you could call it an injury type thing, whatever. But Ben Simmons said, I'm going to skip the entire season. I'm not going to play a single game. Why, Ben Simmons? At first he didn't say. Why, Ben Simmons? Why are you skipping the game? You're not going to play in the game. You're healthy. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm not mentally healthy. I'm not mentally prepared to play the game. There's stories, there's reports of Kawhi Leonard, and you could say it's fake, whatever, but these are reports that come out all the time, every single season. There's reports of when Kawhi Leonard skips games, no one knows the reason why. It's almost as if he just walks into the day and says, you know what, I don't feel like playing. I'm just going to rest. That's an issue. Fans come to see the fucking players play, especially if you're the best player on the team. So that's the reason why they have this, they just made this ban, is because and especially if you have multiple all-stars on your team, fans are coming in and paying hundreds of dollars up to thousands of dollars to watch you play. And you're just going to fucking sit out. Nothing's wrong with you. You got your money. Some of these players are making $200,000 a day. And you're just going to sit there and do nothing? You're not even going to play. And nothing's wrong with you. That's an issue.
I feel more pressure because I'm like, dude, like people are investing $200 a day in me. Like, I better get my ass on the court. I better get to practice. I better hit the training. I don't know. They probably just don't care. I mean, imagine you are all-star. You good, right? But like, you a father, you worth $100 million. Like, do you think I care? I'm really just here to get a paycheck, and I'm kind of tired of it now.
And that's why they're doing it, is because they're NBA players are very spoiled.
I ain't a high schooler anymore. Like,
especially the younger ones. Super, super spoiled, man. I mean, we're not gonna get into it, but like even just like the John Morants, we just seen the Porter Jr., I forget his name, but the guy who's just assaulted the WNBA star, his girlfriend. Like, the NBA players of today are very spoiled. Some of them aren't fit. Zion Williamson, Luka Doncic, they don't stay fit during the season. Anthony Davis is over here playing video games and Twitch streaming instead of practicing. This is a big issue,
so he's skipping, because it'd be different if it was like Saturday and Sunday when he got a little time. But during the season, they play all the time, so it's probably no time. But if it was the off season, he got some days to streaming. That's very different. He lets his audience know, hey guys, I'll be back after the end of the season. Tune in, watch me. You know, I'm a live stream. I don't know, or I might do.
It's your job, and you get paid hundreds of millions of dollars, a lot of them, to play the game. So for you to not dedicate yourself to practicing and to playing in the game, which you get paid to play in, and instead just decide, nah, I'm just not going to play, or today, nah, I'm not going to go to practice. I'm going to just sit at home and play video games and Twitch stream. That's an issue, and I have a problem with it. But we can go to Johnathan Majors now. So there's a video circulating of Johnathan Majors stepping in to break up a fight between 2 female high school students. And I don't want us to forget that Johnathan Majors currently is on trial for assaulting his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend, not Megan Good, his ex-girlfriend, during a taxi ride that they had in New York. He was arrested and is currently on trial for it. And this is inclining people to kind of think that this video that's circulating is nothing more than just a publicity stunt, just a Hollywood PR stunt, just him trying to clean up his image. in order to, I don't know, maybe help himself out in that trial that he's currently undergoing. What do you think?
I mean, I kind of believed him at first. There's a lot of rumors coming out that, she redacted her statement. People were saying that she tried to leave the country. People were saying that he had an alibi during the time she said she was abused. So I was kind of like, we don't really know, but maybe they're railroading him. But now I'm like, dude, this is a little performative. Makes me think maybe he's a little guilty. Because I feel like dudes wouldn't do something like this if they're completely innocent.
I think this is an obvious publicity stunt. Johnathan Majors isn't the biggest name known to man or anything like that. He's not the most famous
He had a
actor.
big year, though, this year before this happened.
But he's still Johnathan Majors. He's still an actor. And for just to be walking around Hollywood and happen to stumble upon a high school where a fight's going on and everyone catches that shit on camera seems a little bit too much of a plot. Seems a little bit too much of a scheme. I know people were trying to like circulate other videos that from different angles and stuff like that and trying to say like, oh, look, there's people around, like this is an event that actually happened. I just don't know too many. I'll say it this way. I don't know too many famous people that are just going to be walking around Hollywood just in midday with no security, with no paparazzi following them. But I do know a lot of celebrities, a lot of Hollywood stars who hire paparazzi to take photos of them and to take videos of them doing certain things. Seems a little bit too similar to that. Kim Kardashian is the biggest one. Kim Kardashian will literally hire people to take pictures of her. It seems very reminiscent.
And I believe it, man, because like it was kind of goofy. Like he broke it up. He was like, "Stop, guys! You're better than like." It was that kind of like, "You're better than that." And he had both his hands up, and he was like, "Wait,"
trying to seem like a hero.
Kind of seemed like a hero. It kind of reminds me, for those who ever seen, and a lot of people were saying this on Twitter, whoever seen The Boys, whenever Homelander's doing some bullshit, they always come out with some video of him saving somebody or him holding a baby or saving a child, and he's just like, America's hero.
Right.
And he just got done slaughtering a whole bunch of people. And
and his trial is about to start next month. Like that's the thing. It's too well planned. You could say it's happenstance. Maybe it didn't really happen. I don't know. But to me, it doesn't seem like that. To me, this seems like an obvious publicity stunt. But he said that it's not. He said that he was just walking around Hollywood and just stumbled upon a fight that was going on, and any bigger person would do the same thing. That's what he's trying to say.
Now, would you break up a fight if you just walk on and you just saw a high school fight?
But I'm not walking around as a famous person in just the random in midday. Walking around high schools? What grown man is walking around high schools?
Some R. Kelly shit.
That does not happen.
Like with the R. Kelly documentary, when they said he was, they said he would just be posted up at a Mickey D's around the corner from a high school, and the kids would come in after school, and he'd be, "You want to meet Kelly? Here's my
maybe
number."
if you're R. Kelly, you do
type
it.
Shit.
I don't think Johnathan Majors is a pedophile, but maybe if you're R. Kelly, you'd do it.
Yeah. Also, guys, we're on. The internet went into an uproar on episode 5 of Ahsoka. For those who don't know who Ahsoka is, she's like an old school, early 2000s Star Wars character. Clone Wars animated series is when she was introduced. And it's like a sequel to Star Wars Rebels, which is like a 2010s, like early mid 2010s animated series. People have not really been fucking with Disney Star Wars. Other than Rogue One, for those and you haven't seen Rogue One, please watch Rogue One. The trilogy was ass.
Yeah, great movie.
Mando was cool, but the last 2 seasons were trash. Book of Boba Fett was garbage. Kenobi was garbage. What else? I think that's it, right?
Nah, Mandalorian was all right. But basically every single Star Wars piece of content that has come out since, I'm gonna say like the Rise, if you want to call it that, like the 6 through 8 trilogy. Every single piece of content that they've released for Star Wars has been garbage. Mandalorian season 1 was okay. It was okay. It was a good start. But every single piece of content has been trash.
Tales of the Jedi, I watched it a little bit. Pretty good. I thought it was pretty solid.
I didn't watch that one, so I can't comment on that one.
Yeah, but, so episode 5 of Ahsoka, they brought back a lot of OGs, man. They brought back Hayden Christensen. He played Anakin in episode 2 and 3. For those who've never seen Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, I thought he did a great job. A lot of people criticized his acting back then, but I felt like, dude, I don't know. Is it that he was a bad actor and he got better, or was it just George Lucas's directing? Because he did his thing, man. He really embodied that Clone Wars Anakin. Like,
I haven't seen Ahsoka. I'm not gonna watch Ahsoka. I think I'm pretty much done, period, watching any Star Wars content that Disney puts out until they do something new and they do something fresh. I think Star Wars is in a moment right now where it needs something innovative. I think it needs something different. They're just going to keep using the same characters that we have been watching for the last, when did Star Wars come out? The 70s? For the last
70s,
50 years. They are still to this day using Luke Skywalker and Yoda as just like the calling cards for people to come watch these movies. Baby Yoda was a thing. They put Luke Skywalker in Mandalorian. It's cool that they're putting Ahsoka out there because she's not that big of a character. She's not that popular of a character. So it's kind of creating some interest. You know, it seems different for people that aren't like the common day Star Wars fans. You know, I even have like my parents asking me, have you seen Ahsoka? You know, so it's on that level where it's kind of, you know, creating some intrigue for people that don't really watch Star Wars or whatever. But for the fans, the OG fans who really watch Star Wars and know Star Wars content, we don't give a fuck about this shit. It's cool. Right. It's cool. But I'm not watching any more Disney product anymore if they're just going to keep regurgitating the same shit. Not me.
The fuck is that? I'm sorry. It sounded like somebody's shooting a gun outside. I swear to God.
Oh, they're popping off?
Yeah. Sorry, we can cut that out. Do you hear that?
Kinda.
All right, anyway. Yeah, so I see what you're saying. I know a lot of people ask me about it, and you're right. That episode was complete fan service, slight spoilers. I'm giving you a chance. Jump like 2 minutes ahead. But anyway, they, Ahsoka was kind of in a near-death state, and Anakin came back to her, and he was like, listen, we're going to finish your training. I never got to finish your training. You know, you left the Jedi Order, then I fell to the dark side, so let's finish your training. And he was like fighting her. And he was like switching back and forth. But you would see him, then you would see Vader, then you would see like him when he first got corrupted, when he killed the younglings. And then he took her like all the way to like Battle of Mandalore when they were fighting all those Mandalorians on the Mandalore planet, or Siege of Mandalore. And she was like young Ahsoka. They had a different actress. And it was all about how she got all those clones killed and she felt guilty about it. So it was cool, man. You got to see him in his Clone Wars armor where he has that top, like that chest plate that kind of goes down like this. You're right, though. It's very fan servicey. Remember, the director is Dave Filoni. He did the Clone Wars. Of course, he's gonna put some respect on his work, right?
No, I'm cool with fan service. Yeah. Fan service is fine. I'm just saying that you can't keep using the same exact characters that we've been watching for the last 50 years. Not all of us have been alive since the 70s, but like I've been alive since the 90s. I was able to see one of the films of the second trilogy in theaters, which was Revenge of the Sith. So I've been with Star Wars since I was like 5 years old, 4 years old.
I saw Revenge of the Sith in theaters too.
And for me to still be watching the same characters and to not really see any evolution, I think they've moved maybe how far in the past was, or how far in the future was, the last trilogy. That was probably like 30 years.
I think so. Yeah.
Because Luke was still alive. So it's probably like 30 years later. So you've only moved 30 years into the future and you're still using, I swear to God, they're still using the same calling cards. The new stuff that they're coming out with. Ahsoka, old character. Lando, old character. Mandalorian is using callbacks from old characters. Boba Fett, old ass character. We thought that nigga was fucking dead, and they were just like, "No, we're gonna bring him back. We're gonna bring him back. Actually, we're gonna bring him back because people are gonna want to watch it, and people do watch it. So it's kind of like the fans' fault because the fans do want to be serviced. We do want to have some people that we're familiar with, but to be using the same people every single time, every single year, and you're releasing something new every single fucking year. The Kenobi series, like it's stuff that's interesting, but you're not adding anything new. Right. I'm watching the same thing over and over again. So until they do something new, until they do something fresh, I'm just gonna have to boycott this. Can't happen.
In Ahsoka, for anybody, this is not too much of a spoiler. If you've seen In the Rebels and you've seen anything about Ahsoka trailer wise, they're introducing a new galaxy. So we might get something new, man. A whole new galaxy. I mean, 30 years. You just said it yourself. 40 years, same characters, same galaxy. We getting a whole new galaxy. Maybe we might get 30 more years of shit if Disney got some balls, right?
Disney doesn't have any balls, though, and I think that's proven. I think that if Disney has some balls, besides Rogue One, which still, if we're being honest, was within the same timeline that we've been watching, again, for the last 50 years. But besides Rogue One, and maybe the Andor series, we haven't seen anything that they had to, like, actually stretch themselves out for. Pause. We've never seen anything to where they've actually had to, like, you caught that one. You've never seen anything to where they actually were, like, taking risks with making it, maybe it's not just like a lightsaber swinging story. It's just a Star Wars story. It's just a story about people from the galaxy, from the timeline, from the franchise of Star Wars. But it has nothing to do with anybody we've ever seen. It has nothing to do, something that was just like so, just glaringly different. Something that has nothing to do, like you wouldn't even think it was Star Wars if you ever just like watched it. They're never going to do anything like that. Not
You know
when
what they
Disney
need to
has
do?
them.
And they're never gonna do it. They need to do like
They never
the
gonna do
origins of the Jedi. Like they got in Legends, they got like some origins of the Jedi shit where like they didn't even have lightsabers. They were still fighting with swords. I think they can still deflect because there was like they're still in the future, even though it's 30,000 years ago. But they were still using like katanas and they were still deflecting bullets. And I think that would be hard. You know, you can see how the tech is different, the 30,000 year difference. I think that would be cool. Or like an Old Republic, Knights of Old Republic.
Yeah, there's
Make
a lot of content that they
all
have
new
on
characters.
hand. I mean, it's
whole
literally
new trilogy. I think. Would you watch that?
Yeah,
Whole
I'd
new
watch
characters,
anything new.
new force power, shit we've never seen. They had powers and knowledge the current characters couldn't even fathom. Old Republic Knights, like it's a whole different thing. I think people would like it. I don't know if you ever saw those like cinematic trailers for the Star Wars: The Old Republic video game. It's still online. But I'm gonna show them to you at some point. But it's like fucking sick, bro. Like I've never seen anything that cool Star Wars related. Remember, this is pre-Disney though.
Yeah, that's true.
But like, that's all I really gotta say. Give it a chance though. If you kind of interested in Star Wars, you're kind of okay with the shows, want something a little bit better. First 2 episodes are kind of slow, but after that it goes. But remember, we've had this conversation before. Like, why are you asking somebody to watch 80 minutes of content, 90 minutes of content, and it's just slow? It's just just waste 90 minutes of your day. Then get to the good stuff. So if you're okay with wasting 90 minutes, and it wasn't bad, but it was slow. It was just like, Ahsoka, like she's here, like, let me fly here and talk to my friend. It's like, remember what happened at the end of Rebels? Like, yeah, like let's inform the people who didn't watch Rebels what happened. And it's like, he's still out there. We got to go here. Like, let's go over here. There's an evil Jedi. Quick little fight. Dang, man, he really fucked this up. Let's go to the hospital type, If you're okay with letting them build the story and fill in the world for you, I would recommend it.
All right, y'all.
All right,
yes,
y'all.
sir. This has been another great episode. Most of you already know the drill, but in case you don't, you can find us back here, same place, same time next week for another new episode of the Top Tier Podcast.
All right, y'all.
Peace.
Take it easy.
Taking those way too far. Shit.